Right now at 5, we begin with a developing story out of Washington, D.C. The family of an Oldham County teacher killed in the nation's capital say police have made an arrest in the case. Thanks for joining us. I'm Shay McAllister.
And I'm Doug Proffitt. Max Emerson's mother is telling us tonight that she got a call from police there in Washington just this afternoon with the news. Police releasing this picture of a suspect on Friday evening along with a $25,000 reward. Right now, we do not know if this is the person that police in Washington have in custody. Emerson was shot on the campus of Catholic University last Wednesday. Surveillance video shows the two men walking together, then the man running off after the shooting. At first, investigators said the two men knew each other, but Emerson's family disputed that, saying Max did not know the man and was randomly robbed and killed.
And we do have more breaking news to tell you about right here at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. Police are trying to find out who shot a 3-year-old in Louisville today. It happened around 1:30 in the afternoon. The child was brought to St. Mary's Hospital with a gunshot wound to the shoulder. The child was then taken to Norton Children's Hospital in serious condition. Police believe it happened near Cane Run Road and Greenbelt. Right now, police are interviewing family members, trying to figure out the details of this case. We'll update the developing story as soon as we get more information.
And tonight, another child, a 6-year-old girl, is in critical condition after being shot in a road rage incident last night. As we told you about at 11 o'clock, police say a group of motorcyclists got into an altercation with another vehicle and then gunshots rang out.
Police say the incident stretched 8 miles from I-65 at the Outer Loop to Woodbine Street, right outside of downtown Louisville. Grace McKenna and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton actually talked to LMPD about the case today. Grace, where does the investigation stand?
Shay, LMPD believes that they have identified everyone involved in this incident, though they haven't said yet or confirmed if anybody has been charged. Police say around 8:30 last night, they responded to Norton Children's, learning a 6-year-old girl had arrived there with a gunshot wound. We've since learned the shooting started with an altercation between a group of motorcyclists and another vehicle, which the girl was a passenger in. LMPD said multiple weapons were involved, with at least 15 shots fired through the path of the incident. Lieutenant Steve Lacefield with the non-fatal shooting unit doesn't believe the people knew each other and says in cases like this, they need the community's help.
It shocks me that after an incident like this, stretching almost 8 miles through the heart of the city, that we've had only a very small handful of witnesses come forward. We can and should do better than that.
Lacefield says the girl who was shot is the child of that vehicle's driver. Right now, she's said to be in critical condition after surgery, but police believe she is stable. Lacefield says LMPD expects to close the case soon. In the studio, Grace McKenna, WHAS11 on your side.
All right, Grace, thank you very much. When it comes to road rage incidents, LMPD says the safest thing to do is just break contact in these cases. Do not get involved.
We have an update here tonight at 5 on an Indiana deputy attacked and killed by an inmate. Court documents are telling the story of the moments leading up to the brutal attack. Monroe County Sheriff's Department says there is security video showing this attack. According to arrest reports, 61-year-old Deputy John Durham was taking the inmate back to the Criminal Justice Center in Indianapolis from the hospital yesterday morning. Video and arrest records show Deputy Durham walked around the transport van to let the inmate out. That's when the inmate allegedly used the chains on his handcuffs to choke the deputy. Afterwards, the inmate then took the keys off Durham's body, uncuffed himself, and stole the transport van. He crashed it right outside of the detention center's complex. A procession in Indianapolis followed Deputy Durham as he was taken from the hospital to the coroner. He had been with the Monroe County Sheriff's Department for 38 years.
Elizabethtown police have arrested 2 men, each accused of vandalizing more than 3 dozen cars. Their names are Darius Earls and Buster Diebold. Both are 19 years old from Radcliffe. E-Town police say the men admitted to getting off work at Amazon in Shepherdsville on Sunday morning, driving around and shooting out car windows with a BB gun. Police say 26 cars were damaged in E-Town, 13 in Radcliffe. If your car was damaged, you're encouraged to file a report with either the E-Town police or in Radcliffe.
It got really hot out there today, but that lower humidity sort of saved us, but you could really feel the heat. Look at all that sunshine, even here just after 5 o'clock. It is still nice and toasty outside, Shay.
Certainly very warm, but I've learned today that it could have been much worse. This time last year, Ben, a lot warmer.
Yeah, I mean, if you thought this was hot, we can get a lot hotter, no doubt about that. 87 our high today, a couple degrees below normal for this time of the year. The humidity has been staying low. We'll be back to the 90s, it looks like, the next several days. and we've only had 7 days in the 90s this year so far. Typically, we're up to about 14 days in the 90s. We'll explain that weather pattern in more detail here coming up in our full forecast. But enjoy it for now. You can see it doesn't feel any hotter thanks to that relatively lower humidity out there. Our temps are in the mid 80s like yesterday, a touch cooler in some outlying areas. Seeing a lot of lower 80s, 82 in Corydon, Madison also at 82 degrees, and quiet conditions throughout the region with showers and thunderstorms blocked off to our north and out to the west with high pressure still in control. So quiet conditions here on Futurecast. Our temperatures will be in the 70s after sunset, low temperatures in the 60s overnight, and then tomorrow afternoon we start to head into the upper 80s, lower 90s. Looks dry through much of the day. By tomorrow evening around sunset, we'll bring back the chance for a few showers and thunderstorms with severe weather not expected. Clear and mild, your forecast tonight, low temperature is 68. Around lunchtime tomorrow, 85. Our forecast high for tomorrow at 91. As we get muggier, we're going to see more storm chances, and I'll show you which days will be the wettest coming up in the 7-day.
All right, Ben, thank you very much. Today, we're getting a closer look at Daniel Cameron's public safety plan if he were to become Kentucky's next governor. The Republican nominee releasing a 12-step safety plan aimed at strengthening support for police.
He wants to increase recruiting and retention of police officers, proposes giving the death penalty to people who kill police officers. He wants to block the Civilian Review Board from having subpoena power over officers. As you know, we have a Civilian Review Board here in Louisville. And he said he wants to add a Kentucky State Police post and put it in Louisville. And he also wants to pass statewide wiretapping laws for Kentucky State Police and reform the parole board. His plan proposes increased penalties for drug traffickers who kill Kentuckians, plus requiring DNA collection for murder, rape, or burglary. And the last few things on the Daniel Cameron safety plan include passing a carjacking statute and to continue to advocate for group violence intervention programs. Alexis Jones is here now with a closer look at one of Cameron's ideas. And Alexis, did Daniel Cameron announce any kind of plan to pay for this one?
Not yet, Doug, but his plan is already stirring up some strong feelings here in Louisville, especially two of them that will impact the city directly.
They're at the top of his list and hard to skip over. Tuesday, Attorney General Daniel Cameron released a public safety plan. Included in his ideas, block civilian review boards from getting subpoena power. Louisville's board was created in 2020 to hold LMPD accountable and increase transparency. The group oversees the Inspector General's office, which has the authority to investigate complaints and police misconduct, but it can't subpoena the department. In Cameron's plan, he says he doesn't support giving the board subpoena power in the future. He says, quote, giving unelected, unaccountable activists the ability to investigate and harass police officers does not promote public safety or increase public trust. Though members lobbied for the right in the past, Inspector General Edward Harness says they're not pursuing it now, so he was shocked to see Cameron mention it. However, board members do believe subpoena power would help them fulfill their responsibilities. And just down the line, listed at number 5, Cameron says he plans to build a new Kentucky State Police post in Louisville. He says the location will help LMPD and Jefferson County Sheriff curb crime. We reached out to several agencies this would impact. We're still waiting on a response.
And we will keep you all updated once we learn more information. In the meantime, you can check out Cameron's full plan on our website, WHAS11.com. Shay, Doug.
Alexis, thank you very much. We also contacted Democratic candidate and Governor Andy Beshear's campaign for his response to Daniel Cameron's plan. A spokesperson telling us, unlike Cameron's record of covering for criminals and lying about grand jury proceedings, Andy Beshear actually delivered pay raises for law enforcement, leading to the largest Kentucky State Police recruiting class in years.
Well, it is now up to the Jefferson County School Board to decide how the district implements the controversial Senate Bill 150.
United we can, divided we fall, we will not comply.
Community members rallying against Senate Bill 150 last night as the JCPS Policy Committee discusses two versions of policies to implement the law. Senate Bill 150 impacts schools by banning discussions on gender expression, sexual orientation, or gender identity. It also allows teachers to ignore a student's preferred pronouns and restricts bathroom access. Both JCPS drafts largely follow the language provided by the Kentucky School Board Association. Version 1 includes language that the district is concerned about the law and warns certain provisions may violate Title IX. Version 2, created by JCPS staff, takes it a step further with a statement at the beginning saying Senate Bill 150 violates the U.S. Constitution and Title IX. It's something board member Chris Cobe supports.
To the extent that the state is asking the JCPS Board of Education to violate the Constitution, to take away people's constitutional rights, to violate Title IX, you know, speaking individually, I certainly don't speak for the whole board, but that's certainly not something that I can tolerate.
The district's attorney says JCPS faces litigation no matter which version is approved. Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio says he believes students need more support than ever, but he also sees the legal side.
I think version 1, although not as strong as version 2, does support in many ways our students. I commend the KDE for their interpretation of this as well. I think that was a major, I thought it was the right thing for KDE to do. So their guidance was important for us on that.
Polio said he believes the board should vote on which version they think is best. The policy committee will meet again next week. Last week, Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron insisted that the schools have no choice. They must enforce the law as lawmakers intended.